Okay, we're live. Yesterday you already brought up the Sargon versus Jess Phillips, I think her name is, drama, so I don't really want to go over that crap. But I did download a video, but I'm not going to play it because you already screen shared it and did your commentary or whatever. And what it has said from you and other people, I think, has already been said and addressed. So there's no point of beating a dead horse about it at this point.
Okay.
Did you see this morning that Sean Hannity is now voting Trump?
I haven't seen that, but I'm not surprised. There's a lot of hypocrites around, isn't there?
Yep. Oh, and also, did you see the, before we actually get into the videos, I didn't really want to talk too much about it, but I was laughing so hard this morning to find out that Vin has made a 45-minute video about you, another one about you this today.
All right, well, I can't wait.
Okay, so let me get some of the videos started. I already posted this in the Facebook group.
Yep, go on.
I already posted this in the Facebook group. Do you remember the whole Target is now becoming a Target thing?
Yes, because of the trans toilet.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the Christian right have been going around screaming and preaching at Target, and there's been I've seen about 100 of these videos, but this is by far my favorite one.
Cool. Already it's good. Before we even start it, this is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Children, this is a deception. This is not love, and they've proven it by opening their bathrooms to perverted men. I'm a mother of 12.
This is the thing, right? With all of this,
yeah.
Why is it only perverted men that are the issue here?
I know. I don't really want to get into the whole trans issue of a thing about it, but I was just laughing at the fact that, like, screaming at Target.
Well, no, it's just that as feminists we get accused of saying, "Oh, all men are rapists." Yeah. We don't actually say that. This woman is basically saying that.
Yeah, pretty much. What I thought was even funnier was the aspect of this was filmed in Alabama, like.
Of course it was. Of course, yeah. Alabama, yeah, the fucking big arsehole of America.
Yeah, but it gets funnier. When they kick around and stuff like that.
This wicked practice. Target does not protect mothers and children. Mothers, get your children out of this store! Mothers, have enough decency to get out of this store! It's a dangerous place!
Oh, God.
Hateful towards families! It's hateful towards mothers! It's hateful towards children!
It's not. It's clearly blatantly not that.
I know, that's so weird.
Are you going to let the devil rape your children, America? Oh my God.
Yes, I am. I am definitely going to let the devil do that.
God, it's so obnoxious.
Taking over this nation. You need to run and flee this.
Did you hear the part when she said she has 12 kids?
Well,
oh God.
I don't want to be rude.
Yeah. It's so.
Yes.
I wouldn't spend a penny of my money here. This is wicked. This is confusion. This is.
It's definitely confusion. Yes.
I love how loving Christian they are.
On the side of God.
Fucking obnoxious.
Well, the only truthful thing she said in that whole thing was, "This is confusion." It is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is.
A lot of it is. So now we have.
And possibly some inbreeding. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Did you see the libertarian debate clip that's been going around the internet? For the Libertarian American Party debate that's been going around the internet at all? Have you seen it? Kevin?
You're breaking up, mate. I didn't get it.
Oh, give me a second.
Understand that.
Give me a second.
No, hang on. I heard you then.
Okay, did you hear about the libertarian debate on C-SPAN, how to get cut off the air?
Yes, because of the man. I presume it was very hot in the theatre. That's all I can assume. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. a little on that notion. Here we go. Present to everyone, and where the hell is the thing? Oh, here it is.
And why would he want to get? I mean, I don't want to ruin it for everyone, but why would he want to distract from the gloriousness of that beard?
I know exactly.
Well, after all the fun we've had today, I figured this we could use a little bit of fun. Yes.
To the mayor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Would the AV people start the clock when the gentleman starts to speak? Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead and start it.
I love this got music.
Come on.
I love the fascist and anarchist with like a white nationalist tattoo on him. Like it's anti-authoritarian. It's like the most authoritarian tattoo ever. Did you actually see the tattoo on his arm?
No. I didn't watch it that closely. I just saw a fat naked man walking around. But I'm not surprised because, like as I've said before, there's no.
Yeah, you're saying.
I was just saying, as I've said before, I wouldn't be surprised about it because there's not a libertarian I've ever met that's not in some way a hypocrite.
Exactly. Let me just fast forward to the good part. This is a live television.
Oh!
Right there. Do you see? I have a better eyesight image. That iron cross.
Oh yeah, no, it does. Yeah, yes, the Iron Cross. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the prime example of a Myelinopolis event if it was in the political party format.
Also, why are they trying to stop him? Why are they trying to? What about the non-initiation of force nonsense?
Exactly. Yeah, non-initiation force. Oh, yeah, I had enough of this garbage. Okay, I was wondering, did you all see the petition was going around the internet of basically trying to get Milo to be like the White House news correspondent?
Oh yeah, well he's done this before, hasn't he? He's got this obsession about being the press secretary for Donald Trump.
No, this petition was different. There was a petition for him to get the press secretary of Donald Trump. Then there was the one after that. It happened like 2 days later. And
right, okay.
They get him as appointed as press secretary of the press for the White House, which is not a government position; it's a private.
Oh, right, okay.
So basically, all the journalists vote to see who is the representation of the White House for them, and like there was a petition to basically forward the notion that the people have spoken kind of bullshit.
Oh God!
Oh, remember when?
Surely you'd have to be a journalist first, rather than
exactly. You remember when Milo did a bullshit a few weeks ago, or was it like a few months ago? The White House was like about the Twitter bullshit.
Yeah.
I heard from a friend of my grandfather's that they actually kicked him out with force of the White House a few hours later.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's time for a little bit of a longer video. Are you familiar with the YouTuber Fringe Elements?
I am, yes.
Well, he's now back on YouTube from his long hiatus of 3 years, and this video is insane, is all we can say about it.
I would expect so.
Here we go.
So Charles Moran wrote yet another hack job against Trump with the stupid title, "Why Hillary is Even Worse, Doesn't Cut It." Of course it's a stupid title. No candidate is perfect. Every election is the lesser of two evils. It's always just a matter of degree. And we know that sitting out elections and taking losses does not improve the chance of winning in the future. The Republican Party, and a lot of people don't know this, but the Republican Party has an internal demographic advantage in the U.S. because conservatives outbreed liberals so much. If there was no immigration, the GOP would be gaining ground demographically every year. So electing Hillary...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. If it was just still white Anglo-Saxon Protestants,
Yeah.
the Republican Party would be sorted. The fact is, it isn't.
No, what she also says later in the video, basically, if the GOP wanted to actually sustain itself as a party and not disintegrate into madness, insanity, you need to start incorporating people of color and Asians and other minority groups into the party itself and stopping.
Well, at least that's sensible and is based in the real world rather than if. I mean, if America was populated entirely by aliens.
Yeah. Exactly true, yeah.
Amnesty and ending all deportation. That's going to kill any chance conservatism has to win in the future if that's what you care about. So sitting out and letting Hillary win does not make conservatism stronger in the long run. It will probably just bury it.
I'm really surprised when I was watching this video. Fringe Elements seems to be very anti-Trump, meaning the people around him are supporting him. I just find it very odd in general.
Well, this is what they're right doing. They went after Trump for so long. And now they've gone, oh, fuck, we're going to have to support him. And now pretending like he's the best thing since fucking deep-fried Mars bars or whatever.
No.
May not be a conservative, but a good 40% of the people who vote for the Republican Party aren't conservatives either. They never were, but they voted for the GOP anyway. So given that Trump is better than Hillary, and given that Trump gives the GOP a chance to win in the future by closing the border, or at least more of a chance, voting...
He's not going to be able to close the border, you stupid racist twats. It's not going to... It's a fantasy world.
I know, it's not going to happen.
They've said, I love it. They'll say, like, oh, his two policies are he's going to close the border and fix trade. That's not a policy statement. That's just saying some nice words. How are you going to do any of that?
Even if he builds a wall, hypothetically, there's still going to be people getting over the border. Well,
isn't it something like 85% of those coming in from the southern U.S. border don't cross?
No, illegally. They don't cross the border.
They come in. They come in by airplanes and illegal
helicopters.
Yeah, and not just that, but they said, didn't they? The fantastic quote about if you build a 20-foot wall, you just create a market for 21-foot high ladders.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
If you vote for Hillary, third party, or you don't vote, okay, you're supporting a candidate who would be worse on all economic policy than Trump by conservative values, and would make it more difficult for conservatives to win in the future by opening the border than Trump would by closing it. Or at worst, Trump would do nothing and maintain the status quo of it being semi-open now. Now, once it's broken down this way, the comparison between Trump and Hillary, it's obvious what the conservative anti-Trump people are engaged in. A tantrum. There's nothing principled about enabling a worse candidate to win and throwing away any chance of your values to win in the future. And there's nothing intellectual about it either. And that's what's so infuriating.
I don't really want to step up and defend the GOP establishment, but the one thing they've, I think, realised is that Trump, and they're kind of a beast of their own creation, yes, but that Trump is going to destroy the GOP.
Oh, yeah.
If he ever became president, he would tear it apart.
I actually do think Trump has officially destroyed the GOP. I really, in my mind. I
don't think he has, but I think if he became president, he would.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
And why so many people are starting to hate you is that you cloak this unprincipled and anti-intellectual tantrum as if it were the opposite, intellectual and principled.
Intellectual, I like that, the anti-intellectual tantrum, coming from the guy supporting the I love to win with uneducated folks.
Yeah. Which I find interesting is that the fact is that Fringe Elements in this particular video is attacking Trump, and he's supporting Trump, but in general, he in his other videos from the last month has attacked Trump.
Of course, yeah, because they've realised that he's the only right-wing dog in the race, you know.
And what's even weirder is that the fact that this video targeted to Charles, the guy on the screen who the video is about. Fringe Elements at one point in the video claims there's no white nationalism in America in the way we know it. It's actually a quote from one of his recent videos, and he does it similar into this video.
Epic. Has he looked at the GOP?
I know, exactly.
When reading Charles's article here, there's one thing that popped out at me. There's a quote here. It says, "But Trump takes first prize for sheer bulk, averaging one factual untruth every 5 minutes, according to a systematic fact check of over 4.5 hours of stump speeches and press conferences." Close quote. The fact check that Charles cites comes from Politico, and it's hard to believe that this is the same person who wrote The Bell Curve and Human Accomplishment. What happened, Charles? Did you go senile? Fact checkers? Really? You're pushing that low info crap? Oh yes, we're here to check the facts because we know the facts because we are the fact check. I mean, Charles is
what was that? That was like his brain had turned to shit and was oozing from his ears. What was that about?
Well, he does this a lot in this video. It's actually really mean.
Checkers, checking facts, fact checking, check facts, fact check facts.
Because the whole idea of the far right is that the mainstream media lies, so it's the lamestream media. So if it's not a credible, like, insane echo chamber source, it's not legit. Being to the fact that, like, even Fox, to the point of Fox News is so mainstream they can't even believe it.
Yeah, well, they'll say, oh, well, you can't trust that CNN piece, but here's a piece from Breitbart.
Or InfoWars.
Yeah, except InfoWars. Of course it is, yeah. 9/11 was done by hamsters, absolutely.
Yeah.
This anti-Trump tantrum that he's pushing this fact checker nonsense. And he wrote some more whoppers. Says, quote, then the fictions on fact
you can't even fucking read.
does not have an effective unemployment rate of 20%, nor does the federal government impose Common Core standards on the states. To take just 2 examples plucked at random from among his continual misrepresentations of reality, close quote.
Okay.
Now, in Common Core, Charles can't be this stupid.
Oh, here we go. Breitbart. There we go.
What a fucking clown. Yeah, you can't trust the media. Let's go to Breitbart.
Exactly.
Common Core is by withholding funds, and they do withhold funds from the states that don't implement Common Core. Now, I don't know if Charles is actually so stupid as to not know that this is how the federal government controls the schools, or if he's just blinded by his anti-Trump tantrum. Now, regarding the effective unemployment rate, if you ask some random person what unemployment is, it means a person who is of working age who's not working. That's what it means, which means the labor force participation rate. Trump has said now the average person may not know about the labor force participation rate or what it means, but when the average person is conceiving of employment and unemployment, he's conceiving of labor force participation. Now, Trump has said repeatedly that he doesn't give 2 figs about the official Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers. And quite frankly, neither do most Americans, neither do I, neither should anyone. The people who push the BLS number around, these are like political, like the NRO, Cato, DC types, who from now on I will refer to as the Buttercreamer Brigade.
What?
Oh, God almighty. And not just that, but what was he going on about earlier about being anti-intellectual? But you're just going to dismiss out of hand official statistics. Right?
Yeah, pretty much, because they're part of the state, and the state is what is manipulating the people.
Also, can I just point out? Yeah. You know, you said he doesn't trust the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
No,
right?
I know. Yeah.
If you look at the bottom of the screen, guess what the source for this graph is?
Where I'm trying to look. It says researchers.
No, the source is U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the underneath.
Oh, no. I was just pointing out the nonsense of him saying, well, I don't trust the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Yeah. And then using a graph based on the source, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You fucking idiot.
Oh, my God. Oh. He's done some really dumb... I've had fights with him in the past, and he's done some really incredibly retarded stuff in the past. Like, really just outright dumb.
No, yeah, well, that's sort of his USP, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would be insane would be if the Wisconsin unemployment rate was less than 20%. And by unemployment rate, I mean the percentage of people that are unemployed. Not this bizarre BLS thing that stops counting people as unemployed after 6 months. I'm not interested in those games, and neither are most people. But I could be here all day responding to, this National Review tabloid stuff. Charles, now this is something that I've kind of kept down. Like, this is sort of an opinion here that I've kind of kept down because I've been wanting to sort of, try to convince some cruisers to support Trump. But Trump has better policy positions than you. And this is something that the Buttercreamer Brigade has shielded itself from because they live.
What policy positions does he have? He's not announced anything.
Well, basically, from what I've seen from GOP types who are originally Cruz went to Trump, that basically they're saying that Trump is better because, quote unquote, he supports social policies, unlike other GOPs who don't. Saying that he's on the ticket more for the state than he is for the individual, quote unquote.
Well, he can't win, surely. Fucking hell. So depressing.
I know, this is reality. This is the sad part.
Little temples.
Because Ted Cruz, basically, let me finish that statement. Ted Cruz basically said multiple times he will shrink the government by abolishing the IRS, public schools, public colleges, and he also, Ted Cruz, said, is make the entire post office privatized. Donald Trump wants to keep the state, actual run various organizations, but just wants to I guess, not even touch them, tax-wise, or he just wants to make more business and just ignore the state while being in charge of the state.
Yeah, he's basically the alt-right.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Trump supports propping up dictators in the Middle East, and this is a foreign policy that worked. This is known as the realist, quote-unquote, policy. A little bit of a self-congratulatory title, but, following the Iraq War and the interventions in Libya and Egypt and Syria, I think that title, that self-proclamation of being a realist was well-deserved, propping up dictators. Right? It kept the oil flowing, kept the region stable, and it was good for the people in the region. We've seen this democratic, this not Democrat Party, but expansion of democracy policy in the Middle East. And, you can shit on Obama all you want, but Bush started this whole insane crusade to remake the Middle East in our image or something like that, as if, well, I don't want to get into that. And on tax policy, Trump supports cutting capital gains and raising the income tax on the rich. Capital gains is tax on profit from
the fucking Treasury Department as a source.
Yep, you can't trust the government apart from when it suits me.
Exactly.
Which then gets taxed again if it's taken as income. And that's retarded since this is money that's most likely to be reinvested. It's the seed corn. Right?
It's mostly just to rot in a bank account and just accumulate and get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not going to be reinvested. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, the whole trickle-down thing has been so thoroughly debunked, it's untrue.
Oh.
We want to tax the least. Income is used for consumption. Now, Trump doesn't want to tax the rich's investment because investment is what makes the whole economy better off. Okay, tax the money they take out of their business or portfolio as income instead.
Yeah.
And to be kind of a dick about it, this is the correct tax policy that Trump is pushing. Right? Capital gains is precisely the tax that you don't want to have. And income on the rich is precisely the tax that you do want to raise. And this isn't some position that I've rationalized in order to support Trump, Charles. I've held this position for years before Trump started running. Now, on immigration...
Apart from so many... I mean, I can't speak to him specifically, but so many of those right-wing supported the Bush tax cuts for the rich. Yeah,
but he... from what I've known from studying the older videos of Flynn Gentleman, he's always been a national socialist, like an alt-right fascist. He supports the state but questions it, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I guess in certain sense, the GOP is closer to being alt-right than it is libertarian anarcho-capitalist.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct policy. Look, the economic argument for immigration comes from a labor shortage. The U.S. does not have a labor shortage. It has a job shortage. Moreover, real wages for people under 30 have been going...
So I'll tell you what you need to do in order to stop that job shortage is elect a man who shipped fucking untold tens of thousands of jobs to China. Definitely. That'll fix that fucking problem.
I know.
Real terms over the past at least 16 years. And a total ban on immigration is precisely what the United States needs. And here's another thing, Charles. I support Trump's stance.
That isn't his policy.
No, I know. It's not. It's a policy to many people within his circle, but not the policy of that person.
Yeah, exactly.
And Parenthood, and I support the minimum wage and raising the minimum wage. Now,
I find it really funny that fringe elements in the last few months has really been attacking the men's rights movement, even though he's an alt-righter.
Well, the fissures that run through that quote-unquote bowel movement are significant.
Yeah.
I'm not like a fire thrower on those issues, and I don't want to argue the minimum wage, right? That would be something really complex.
The screen's gone black.
No, it's his video. It's a lot. The rest of the video is like black with like transitions in like the last few minutes.
Jesus Christ! Well put together, Fringe.
But for me and a lot of people like me, those positions that Trump has, those are pluses, not minuses. I also supported an increase in the tariff on certain manufactured goods. I know what comparative advantage is, okay? And no, I don't support a sugar tariff. All right, it's another complex argument involving gateway industries and the value of the sunrise industry plus the reduced price of the
this one doesn't even have a source. I was
about to say. Yeah, it does. U.S. TFR rates. I'm assuming it's from the U.S. Tariff Archive or Museum. Do you have a digital museum?
Okay.
Trade, minus the value of the loss industry plus the value of the sunrise industry. It's an empirical thing. It's an empirical debate, and it's highly contextual. And I may be wrong. Maybe free trade is the best policy 100% of the time, and maybe the United States was wrong to have had the highest effective tariff on manufactured goods for the first 150 or so years of its existence. But the thing is, there's a lot of people like me, despite disagreeing on so much, have held our noses and voted Republican for candidates that were more in line with what you believe, Charles, than with what I believe. And for the first time, the shoe is on the other foot, and this is how you behave. And that's the word. That's the word for it. It's not how you respond, it's how you behave, because you're behaving like a child. And in other places, Charles, you have attacked Trump for being unpresidential and thin-skinned in demeanor. And this concept of being thin-skinned, I've heard people say that, well, you just need to let these insults wash off your back, just roll off you. Which is, it's ridiculous because it doesn't roll off you, right? It's not about it, like whether or not you personally are psychologically offended by the insults that are coming at you or the attacks.
Oh God, it's just like these people the same people who've gone about, oh, you shouldn't get offended by stuff you see on the internet. It's just the internet. Grow a thicker skin. Are the same people that are saying, well, Trump doesn't need to grow a thicker skin. Oh, fuck off.
Or the lies about you. That's not relevant. Sure, you can be outraged about it or not. But what matters is the political effect of the charge. That's what matters. And Trump, by constantly hitting back, it's not thin-skinned. That's recognizing the political reality that other people are hearing about these charges, that other people listen. Like when Elizabeth Warren says some stuff, other people are listening to that.
I'm sorry, no, that's the fact that he felt it necessary to respond to the allegation that he had a small cock.
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with politics. That's him being thin-skinned and having the fucking mindset of a 7-year-old.
That's the political reality. It's not about being thin-skinned or psychologically, insecure, whatever. And regarding being unpresidential and, Trump's clownish behavior, right, as you see Trump, but that's how I see you. Yes, Trump's a carnival barker, but you're a carnival whisperer.
Well, if he seems a carnival barker, why the fuck are you planning on electing him as president, you dozy cunt? What's wrong with you?
Well, I can't get a straightforward narrative from Fringe Elements because in certain videos he's saying he's not voting for him, in certain videos he's saying he's against him, in certain videos he says he's for him.
Well, yeah.
But it's not that we're being taken in by Trump's act. It's that we all know that you're engaged in a dumb act as well, which is why all the 95 IQ working class people who are now Trump supporters, right? It's something that they've always seen through. And, I mean, like Cruz has his fake preacher act where everything is some profound end times matter of principle, a promise to the American people, and what the preacher cadence he has. Right, Christie, he's the no nonsense blue state Republican governor. Now the hell of it is, like for him, it's somewhat an act, but to his credit, he was actually speaking truth about having to cut Social Security in a debate. So he's actually did that, walk the walk a little bit there. Carly Fiorina, of course, is just the insufferable corporate adult, right, who makes all the mature decisions. And let's not take the moral position or the correct position or the effective position. No, what is the corporate position? What is the adult, mature corporate position to take?
The mature position would be to stop lying about Planned Parenthood selling body parts. That would be
lay off 40,000 people because you thought it would be fun.
Yeah. This is how far these people have sunk into the right-wing morass.
Yeah.
That they think that this person is mature.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's Carly Fiorina, corporate adult. And, Ben Carson, he was the black smart.
What?
Oh, God. Oh, gee.
It stores grain.
You might as well have come out and said, well, this was Ben Carson, the GOP's pet nigger. Like, what are you talking about, you fucking twat?
Oh, you know what's even weirder? I remember, I'm not weird, but I feel like Ben Carson is like some neurological thing, like preset Parkinson's or like Alzheimer's. They're like the whisper. He just like kind of like.
What?
I feel like Ben Carson and the way he speaks and like the way he like acts body language wise, I feel like he's like undiagnosed. My personal opinion, like something like neurological problems like Parkinson's or like Alzheimer's and dementia, kind of like early onset.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's clearly. This is the thing. Of all the people in that race, he's the only one that's actually achieved something of his own bat. I will give him that much. He's clearly a fine neurosurgeon. He just talks slowly, doesn't he? It's just a boring fuck.
Yeah, but I think the way he's like the things he says, so, like when he's speaking slowly, it's like very like does not make much sense. What's GOP?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. Well, again, I mean, I don't want to give him too much credit, so it's worth pointing out that he's a GOP politician. What I don't know why anyone would expect him to.
Yeah,
that's his little shtick. Now everyone has their little shtick. Trump's was just more entertaining, and his positions are better. Now, the thing is about Murray, nobody thinks you're like incredibly smart. Nobody takes you incredibly seriously. And Charles, you make bad arguments and have bad reasoning all the time. Like case in point, this article that you just wrote. But the thing is, I'm not going to then. I mean, that's not going to make me like, disown the bell curve or disown human accomplishment. Okay, because my view of you, like this article, like I know that sometimes you go, have emotional, like that's just it. As clownish as you see Trump, and how everyone else has always seen people like you, Charles. Okay, we have words for you: Lolberg, bow tie, conservative, residents of Chateau Artiste. And so it's not so much that Trump is causing this rise of anti-buttercream or anti-establishment people, right? It's not causing...
I mean, as much as I know he's attacking, it is good to see Bill Kristol look angry.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because he's a cunt.
It's just causing that sentiment to be mobilized, and how, you people were always seen is now sort of being revealed, and it's not, and you go in and say, well, we have dumb bombastic rhetoric by Trump. No, the dumb bombastic rhetoric comes from the National Review, blindly supporting free trade. Okay, that's what I think is dumb bombastic rhetoric. I think Trump has better positions on that. Now you could say, well, Trump hasn't thought that through.
I cannot wait for Glenn Beck to do a U-turn and become a Trump supporter.
I know he's going to eventually. He's really not doing it right now, but he's going to eventually.
Yeah, he's going to have to. Well, I mean, what else is he going to do? Stay quiet during the election or something?
Either that or a libertarian with a...
Oh yeah, Gary Johnson.
Johnson.
He is that none of the Wahlberg.
Apparently today I read in the paper that he's apparently on the presidential candidacy. He has enough in the pollings to do it.
Oh, right, okay.
It's first.
Well, they should really have gone with the naked guy.
Yeah.
Their positions through, right? They come like their position on trade, their position on the minimum wage, your position, right? It's all going to be in a set. There's a predefined set of positions that the Wahlbergs are going to have. Okay, so sure. I mean, they may have more well-defined talking points, but don't pretend that they have thought anything through. Like we know you guys haven't. So yeah, that's all that's happening. Nothing new is being created by Trump, right? It's just what has always been there is just being mobilized and put on display. And finally, that wing of the Republican Party that has always existed, that wing of the Republican Party that supported higher taxes on the rich, that supported the higher minimum wage.
Really?
That was a thing in the early 2000s. That was a thing. He's not.
Okay, well, I haven't seen much of it for the last fucking 20 years. I have to say.
Yeah, it was a thing like in the late 90s, early 2000s, but they've been heavily suppressed.
Well, okay.
Closing the border. Right? These working class people who are interested in having like a decent wage like they did in the past. That wing of the Republican Party. Is finally getting their say. That's all that's happening. It's not a new thing that has come into existence. It's something that has always been there. And the attacks on you that Trump is doing, it's funny. Trump's sort of putting it there, but the thing is that's how people have always felt about the Republican establishment. And I include the National Review publication in that.
Yeah, but the thing is, he needs the Republican establishment.
Yeah, I was saying.
I was just saying, that's okay to say in theory, but he needs the Republican establishment to have any chance.
Oh yeah, or the Libertarian establishment.
Yeah, well, he needs something. Yeah, he needs a core of people who have that political power in the nation and the money. Essentially.
Yeah.
This is how it has always been. It's just now being revealed to you.
Well, that was impressive considering it was that long and he said very little.
I have some other stuff playing. It's pretty funny.
That was really dumb, wasn't it?
Yeah. Here's some drama broke down with Josh Fierstein. The crazy. Hey guys.
Oh yeah. The Fred Durst one of them.
Yeah. And he apparently got into a beef with a New York City evangelical church.
Of course he did. Brilliant. He of the famous coffee cup outrage.
Yeah.
Has he still not learned? Turn the fucking phone the other way. You token bastard.
Hey guys, I'm Josh Fierstein here. Look, this is not going to be popular, but I'm going to say it anyways. The Apostle Paul would roll over in his grave today if he saw what Hillsong was doing. Really, Hillsong? You're really going to bring out the naked cowboy at one of...
For those who don't know, the Naked Cowboy is this guy, 42nd Street. He's been there for like years. He does it today. He's been doing it every day since 1999. He stands in Midtown in a thong playing the guitar.
Oh, the guitar, yeah.
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 He plays like...
was he in the Nickelback video or something?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, okay.
And this church called Hillsong, which is like this right-wing evangelical church, is in a fucking auditorium. It's like a huge... I've been in that church once for a joke. It's like a palace on the inside of it.
Cool.
The guy into a... What?
I don't see what's the problem with bringing him in. He's not actually naked, is he?
No, and then they got him in as a joke, like to have him perform on a Sunday. And this guy's now raging at, you brought the Naked Cowboy and had all this bullshit. Yeah.
Worship services. For those of you that don't know who the Naked Cowboy is, he's a YouTube star that walks around with literally nothing but a guitar covering his private parts.
He wears a thong. Get it right.
Yeah. Song brings him out on stage and the crowd goes wild. Seriously? Is this what the church has resorted to draw people, attract people, to keep people, to stimulate people? Really? I'll tell you why church...
What they should go back to doing is torturing you if you don't go into the church.
I really want to see this. I really want to see Josh Fierstein in the future talk in tongues on camera. Kind of like bullshit.
I only want to see him have a heart attack. Is that wrong? I mean, does that make me bad?
I don't think that's wrong. Make it more of a heart palpitation. His heart just fucking explodes in the scene of rage on stage.
Exactly. I want to see, like, actually, no. Do you know when the Nazis, their faces melt in the Road of the Lost Ark? Yeah, I want to see that happen to him. I mean, it'd take forever. Look at the amount of meat on his face.
Yeah, I know.
Manufacture the actual glory of God, the real presence, the real Shekinah and glory of God in their church service. So they have to somehow resort to these stupid tactics. Ladies and
Says the guy who started a fucking jihad on Starbucks. Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the one to tell other people about stupid fucking tactics. Brilliant.
Yeah.
in the church. We need God in the church. People aren't coming for a show. Does a show better. You know what?
God in the church. Oh God. We need God in the church. We need pizza in the Pizza Hut. Like, oh, shut up, you twat.
Oh my God.
Doesn't mean anything.
Oh no, I really want. You know, back in the day when a lot of atheists on YouTube would debate creationists.
Yeah.
I want to see someone like I don't know who, like Thunderfoot or like Sargon or like Aaron Rod, just someone in general, an atheist community's big debate this guy.
I don't see the point because he doesn't make any. He doesn't make any arguments ever.
No, just for like the lol factor of like how obnoxious he is.
Yeah, I suppose. I just wish he'd turn the camera the other way around.
Yeah, same.
So we're not looking at a strip on the screen. It's ridiculous.
Okay, sorry. Let me just continue. I was just reading a comment we got.
Because they want to experience the power and the presence of God that can radically revolutionize their life. But unfortunately, today we have become entertainment driven. And people, I realize today, are saying,
So why are you on YouTube then? Do you think that's a problem? Why are you on YouTube?
I know. Yeah, I know.
In order to win them. Really? If you're becoming like the world, they won you. Think about that. We're not called to be like them. We're not called to be thermometers that simply fit in with our surroundings and acclimate to it. We're called to be thermostats, which literally take and change the atmosphere around it.
Okay. Well, if you're not supposed to change to fit your surroundings, why aren't you executing homosexuals, Josh?
No, that's theater.
It says that in the Bible. It says that in the Bible.
You're mistaking him for Theodore Schubert's gig.
Oh, Teddy Schubert. Love it.
Days of old-fashioned revival where we prayed and fasted for God to move.
You're gonna fast. Like this guy's gonna fast.
Yeah. He might eat fast. That's a different thing.
Yeah, eat fast. Yeah.
And junk. Ladies and gentlemen, this is strange fire on the altar of God, and it's dangerous.
What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Strange fire on the altar. Go away.
To have the kind of move of God where heroin addicts run in, and prostitutes and pimps and drug.
Also, by the way, it should be worth pointing out that Jesus didn't seem that bothered about prostitutes.
No, or drug addicts or whatever.
Yeah, he sort of said that you do unto the least of my brothers, that you do unto me. Just a thought, you know.
People are coming in, alcoholics and people that are broken, and their lives are being changed. The naked cowboy doesn't change anybody's life, but Jesus does. So let's lift him up. Let's invite him into our church. Let's invite him onto our stage. Anyways, God bless you guys. If you
you know the statue of Jesus they have in every church. He's only wearing a loincloth.
Yeah, I know.
Just a point.
Moment and share the video, like, comment below. If you're not my friend already on Facebook, click my name at the top of the video. Let's be friends. God bless. Have a beautiful day.
I was saying earlier, I just really wish like some atheists on YouTube would debate this guy, because like the comedy gold he can get from like actually interacting would be really funny.
True, but I don't see the point because he doesn't make any arguments that you could argue against. He's just a babbling idiot.
Yeah. Oh, time for another creationist. This time we have Mario, the Vigilant Christian.
Oh, Mario, my favorite of all of them.
I do like him. Like out of all the creationists, I think he's the most entertaining to watch because of the paranoia.
Oh, definitely. Whenever he comes out of the closet, he's going to get so much cock.
He already did. Kevin, he already did come out.
Did he?
Yeah, a few months ago, yeah.
I thought he was going about... I've seen him do videos against homosexuality in the past.
I don't know, but he's about to.
Hey everyone, it's Vigilant Christian Mario, and you're here for an end time report. In today's video, I wanted to report on this. Canada may ban anti-transgender speech with 2 years in prison. As many of you know, I take a strong position against the LGBT position. And
See, that's what I
It's
mean.
so weird because he came out of a closet recently.
Well, that's strange to me because I was just joking. I didn't think he was actually gay. Well, he might be. Who knows? But that's the thing. How can you be that virulently anti-gay if you're gay?
I know, it's like Milo in a weird way. Like, it's like the same
Yeah,
personality. Yeah.
I'm a Bible-believing Christian, a born-again Christian, who I thought had the right to express my beliefs on the internet here. But apparently no, we are living in some very twisted times. Soon, there will be laws that will be passed that will come censor me, silence me, and even put me in jail.
Like Christianity has done for like 2,000 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Told you this would happen a long time ago, and that is because I know the way that things are being rolled out, and I've been trying to warn you. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, an anti-transgender speech prison sentence that I'm probably going to be facing in the future. But that's okay. I'm sure many of you are going to get behind me, and we're going to fight this.
I'm sure in prison many will get behind you too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Free speech. Let me state 100% clearly, as I have over and over and over, when I express my beliefs as a Christian, my religious freedoms that I'm exercising, I am not being hateful. Just because.
Really?
Well, yes, you are, Mario. Yeah. Yes, you are.
Credit card debt is satanic. Did you see that video?
No. What was that?
He did a whole like an hour-long video why credit card debt is satanic.
There's nothing in the world he couldn't try and prove is satanic. Everything is satanic to this guy.
Have you seen his animations at all?
No, I haven't. I try to avoid Mario because he's mental.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the transgender lifestyle doesn't mean I'm hateful. Okay, so this is ridiculous. Let's read a few things
here. The fact that you call it a lifestyle suggests to me you're a bit hateful because it's not a lifestyle, is it? It's just like a thing inside of somebody.
I don't know, but in the video, like in the middle of the video, he starts going on about like, oh, we need to like stop saying crap and like stop censorship. But, like, you flagged a lot of people on YouTube. Like, so like,
is there any fucker he hasn't flagged who's made a response to him? Apart from us, I suppose.
So we have a bill that seeks to amend the Criminal Canadian Code to expand its existence to hate speech, prohibiting to include any public speech or communication that promotes quote-unquote hatred on the basis of gender identity or gender expression, and also Canadian Human Rights Act to cover transgender people. And this is Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He said, as a society, we have taken many important steps towards recognizing and protecting the legal rights for the LGBTQ2 community, from enriching equality rights in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms to the passage of the Civil Marriage Act. Trudeau said in his speech, announcing the bill on International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia on May 17th, there remains much to be done. Okay, there's a lot of work they feel like they need to be doing here. Though, for too many people still face harassment, discrimination, and violence for being who they are. This is unacceptable. Well, Mr. Trudeau, is it okay for me to be harassed, discriminated, and put into jail because I am a Christian and I have the right to express my beliefs? Do you see how twisted
that's not the point, is it? That's not you being you. You can hold those beliefs as much as you fucking well want. It's once you act upon those beliefs by being discriminatory.
I don't know. I kind of feel like the idea of like hate crimes in general should just be made a crime and not like have the asterisk to hate on them.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Yeah.
That I've made videos about in the past. I have on my channel. I forgot what they're called. They're from like 2 or 3 years ago.
Warp this is, you're a hypocrite. You're going to put me behind bars? That makes no sense. He added, To do its part, the government of Canada today will introduce legislation that will help ensure transgender and other gender diverse people can live according to their gender identity, free from discrimination and protected from hate propaganda and hate crimes. You see, this is going to be categorized as hate propaganda when it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, all I am doing, okay, is sharing my beliefs. And we have to, whether or not you believe in the Bible or not, you need to understand that our freedoms as free nations is under attack. They are trying to silence people.
Those free nations that didn't exist until Christianity was suppressed.
Exactly. And like, I really want to get to the point in the video where I start saying, like, shouting about false flagging, like DMCA crap. It's actually really, it's really like projection. It's really funny. Should I play, Kevin, or do you have anything else?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay.
To what they want to shove down our throats in the government, in the media.
Well, there's too much. I'm sorry, right? There's too much potential for silly innuendo here. It's going about people getting behind him and people shoving stuff down his throat. I mean,
he does that all the time. All the time. He does it all the time. Like, I've seen a lot of his videos. He does that a lot.
Well, yes.
Down our throats, and if you don't accept it, well, guess what? It's prison time, and you could be facing.
No, if you don't accept it, you give it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, but
I really feel like this whole like wash of Canada. They're not like targeting Mario. They're targeting like Nazis. I'm like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and not just that, but this isn't a brand new law just for transphobic people. It's expanding a current law to include transphobic people, and that there haven't been mass arrests of Christians for homophobic nonsense, has there? So clearly, you doing what you do isn't going to be somehow now illegal. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Typical overreaction by fucking
Mario.
The entitled babies.
Told you this stuff was going to happen, and here it is. I told you so. This enactment amends the Canadian Human Rights Act to add gender identity and gender expression to the list of prohibited grounds of discrimination. The bill summary reads, the enactment also amends the criminal code to extend to protection against hate propaganda set out in the act to any section of the public that is distinguished by gender identity or expression, and to clearly set out that evidence that an offense was motivated by bias, prejudice, or hate because of gender identity or expression constitutes an aggravating circumstance that court must take into consideration when it imposes a sentence. Okay, so you can go ahead and check this out. They already here in Canada will consider hate speech. One guy from America came up and he literally quoted the Old Testament and said that homosexuality was a sin and he's no longer allowed to come to Canada. He was an American and he was fined.
No, okay, I looked into that. The reason he got blacklisted from Canada is because apparently, allegedly, he was rumored to be smuggling guns back and forth.
Well, that's fine. In the Bible, it says the right to bear arms is not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's in the Old Testament, definitely.
$1,000. Okay, so we up here are definitely losing the fight against this agenda, and unfortunately, people like me who are against this are going to be perceived as hateful and all that because you have to believe what you want you to believe.
You're going to be perceived as hateful because you are hateful.
Exactly.
So there you go, everyone. I just wanted to share this article with you and also to let you know I'm probably going to be facing some prison time in the future, and I have
never. That's what I wanted to get to. That was the best that long.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You probably aren't, Mario, unless you're doing some other fucking shit.
He was arrested last year for drug charges.
Of course you are, but it was the devil Illuminati Matrix that did that to him, obviously.
Yeah, that's what actually he literally said that on video.
Oh God, of course he fucking did. He's a twat.
With that, they can come and throw me behind bars. That's okay. I will stand up for what I believe in. Okay, till my last breath. I'm not going to compromise. You're not going to take away my right to express what I believe. This is in no way hate. It is not. And in fact, I don't know what's going on over here.
Fail.
Christian poster.
Well, it's good. It's good to know that he's as crap, even though he's got a much bigger channel than I am.
Yeah.
He's still as crap at technology as I am. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Ads and the craziness. But anyways, what was I saying?
He could have just edited that out. Why did he leave that in his video?
Because he's a lazy fuck who doesn't put any pride into any work he ever does.
But either way, guys, this is actually going to be coming to our door very shortly. I'm going to need you all to get behind me. I'm going to fight.
Get behind me.
With a
He does
looped
all,
fist.
he does, like, I've seen so many of his videos where he's just like these Indians like down my throat, up my rear, like not like up my rear, but like up my rear, stuff like that. Like it's weird Indian.
I guess his best passage would be "Get thee behind me, Satan."
Yeah.
And be silenced, but I need you guys to back me up on this. Even if you don't, if you're an atheist, if you're I would hope that the homosexual community would recognize that this is hate towards Christians, guys.
That's
there
we go.
He just described the homosexual community as other to himself, so I don't think he's openly gay, is he?
I question his motives so much. Like if he actually believes the shit he spews.
I don't know.
Hate with hate. Okay, yes, there are some Christians, quote unquote, out there who do hateful things.
I literally a few months ago had a Skype conversation with Mario and like G-Man. It was a nightmare just to like.
Oh god, that sounds like hell. That actually sounds like hell.
It was really awful. 1 second, I'm just reading a comment we got.
Why are you reading? We're broadcasting to 7 billion people here.
Yeah, exactly.
To express the Christian belief that these things are not okay is not hateful. We are simply expressing our religious freedom. And as far as I knew it, I thought we had the right to do that. But apparently not anymore. Bills are being passed to come and have this.
Take our guns away.
Well, no, this is the point. It isn't a bill being passed. It's an amendment to a bill that already existed, and you haven't been put in prison. So what's your problem?
I'm
if
done.
you just continue to do what you do in that way, you'll be fine. Because because you would have already been imprisoned at some point before this. So you're fine. Shut up.
Yeah. I do want to bring up the one thing about Sargon. I've been meaning to address today, like you said about how the Westminster police are going to be like watching and shit like that.
No, the West Midlands police.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, West Midlands police. I said 3 weeks ago, Sargon, if he keeps doing what he's going to do, he's going to crash and burn badly. Like he's going to pick a fight with the wrong person.
Yeah. No, it looks like you might be correct. As I've said before, if someone but if someone goes after me or Christy Winters or even Steve Shives, no one cares. That's not going to make the newspapers. It's not going to be an issue. But when you start picking on people with actual, like, real world out there power, you are playing with fire. Yeah.
The last video is from a person you featured recently in your series, Descent of Manosphere.
Oh, okay.
Where is it? Descent of Manosphere. SJWs. I love that line when he said that. Like, I actually remixed it, but I thought the remix of like you going SJWs was not good enough, so I'm gonna like work on it with some other stuff.
Which bit was this? I don't know what you're talking.
When you were imitating like talking about Sargon yesterday, you said that one.
Oh yeah, the SJWs. Yeah.
Bad sex.
Bad sex.
Greetings, true friends.
Yay, the golden one.
This video is so projection. It's so funny.
All I can say is, the leftists.
The leftists, yeah.
How to gain the support and the votes of the women. As we saw in the Austrian election, which, by the way, probably was subject to some good amounts of electoral fraud.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
Yeah, you lost, therefore it must be electoral fraud.
Which meant that our guy, the glorious nationalist leader, lost. However, there's one particular group that voted for the self-hating communist, and this is...
You mean the Green Party candidate?
Yeah, exactly.
Not communist at all.
Whole of the West. That is young single women in urban areas.
And they make.
Well, this is the thing, right? I think I know where he's going with this. They need women to vote, which is a very sensible thing, which the Republicans seem not to have realised. You do need 50% of the population, because otherwise you have to win the entirety of the other 50% to have any chance, right?
Yeah.
So, but the problem is, when he and other people speak about women as if they're basically scum, why are you then surprised when they don't want to vote for you, you twat?
No, but that's what he's doing in this video. But what the shit he says is so ridiculous.
Well, I can't wait, because I know this man is one of the intellectual powerhouses
of the manosphere.
Yeah, and look, well, that bookshelf behind him, one of my favourite bits from the intro to that, I had to put it in the intro, was him going, look at all these books behind me, I've read them all. Brilliant. Like, that makes you a genius. You read some books as well.
I'm looking at
basic...
bad airplanes fantasy.
Well, exactly. Well, not irrelevant. Yeah, that's true, but it almost doesn't matter. It's just, yeah, you have basic fucking literacy skills. Fantastic. Why does that make? Why should I bother listening to you just on that basis? I could go to a 10-year-old.
Exactly.
Need their votes, and now you might say, "Oh,
he listens up and puts them down."
Well, that's how you get big arms. That's how you do it.
Did they have that commercial in England? It was all over United States and Canada.
No, but I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suit themselves. I hope they get raped because they're so stupid, etc. Many of them will probably get raped. And yeah, sure, some of them will pay for their stupidity with their lives. But I kind of like women. I kind of want to see women on our side. So that's sort
of... that's ridiculous. Oh, God. There's blasé way. Well, some of them will get raped, but I kind of like women.
Oh,
you wonder why they want. You wonder why you're not attracting people.
I know, it's so... like this guy, like... I just feel like he's trying to imitate some Warhammer fantasy model. It has all energy, the bookshelf, the map of the old world and crap.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely got this thing about he goes in about the glorious sons of Rome and all of this shit. He sees himself as like some extension of Alexander the Great, and he's some prat on the internet, you know.
Of course, he is.
Rhetoric is not something I want to have associated with me. I'm looking for the final victory here. What needs to be done to attain political power? What needs to be done to gain meta-political influence? That sort of stuff. So we need women in the movement. And the movement then is traditionalism, nationalism, identitarian, what have you. You know what I mean, at least. And
yeah, you're traditionalists. You wonder why women don't want to come to your cause, because you basically see them as A, baby factories, and B, sandwich makers.
Exactly.
Are you surprised they're not attracted to your cause?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know, it's weird. I find it very, very odd, the whole aspect of women who are in the back in the day who are going like libertarian, super crazy for Rand Paul and shit like that, and Ron Paul, who are not even on the yeah.
You get Julie, some of those people. Though.
Yeah, it's Julie. What's her name? Julie Blowski or something like that.
Oh yeah, Julie Borowski or whatever her name is. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I knew people who were Democrats who went libertarian just because of anarcho-capitalism is not the right Rand Paul garbage.
Mm.
And it's National Socialism is more... I don't know. I've already said it before. You can't get shit done for any state agenda. The oxymoron out of this. So at least National Socialism can have some standpoint of women's rights, but a bad standpoint at least.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. I would be careful with the wording of that, but yes, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Women there, because women are, if you have a good relationship with them, very, very good to have. And many guys are obviously interested in getting access to the nether regions of fair maidens.
Fair maidens.
Desires, however, are a bit more...
Oh, God. Again, you wonder why they might not be advanced to your cause. Because you talk about them he wonders, and the nationalists wonder why they don't get women to their cause.
Yeah.
When you start talking about gaining access to the nether region of fair maidens, you mentalist. What the fuck? You don't talk like a person. I know it's. I mean, I feel rough because it's not his first language, but he must know by now that that's not an acceptable way. Well, it's not a generally polite way of discussing other human beings.
I know. I'm only playing this because of, like, the shit like that comes out of every a few sentences.
Oh yeah.
Interested in their votes. So it is of paramount importance for me to find a way to appeal to women as well. Not just me, but
treat them like valued human beings. If you did that, they might like you. If you treated them like, less like cattle and more like people.
He's so weird. It's so weird, this guy. He's like...
minded initiative in Europe. And now what you have to realize when it comes to a majority is that you cannot reach them the same kind of way which you do with guys. You're going to point at some argument based in statistics and logic because they do not respond to that as well.
Oh my god, I can't.
God, he's just... Yeah, why aren't women supporting us? I don't know, maybe because you don't see them as capable of logic.
Exactly. This is really...
certain social group. They think they are on the good side who want to cater to these poor refugees. They have twisted the most beautiful instinct nature, aka the modern instinct. They've twisted that into something completely disgusting so that they feel the modern instinct for people who will eventually rape them.
Oh
my god. I'm not. There's no reason in vindicating this or even refuting this.
It falls on its own. It's such a fucking paper house. Come on, let's get through this. Come on.
Yeah.
With high probability for that to happen, at least. That is how that happened. What we need to do is to create an aesthetics. We need to create a culture, as it were, that is welcoming to women. And women, above all things, love winners. They love powerful men, they love influential men, and they love successful endeavors. And then if you go with kind of rhetoric that this is a boys-only club and all women are so evil, that will not attract women. And and women are also looking at what other women think. So if these women do not like that initiative, chances are that other women will look at them and not find any attraction for that kind of movement either. So it is of paramount importance that we portray the movement as accommodating for women, as an attractive counterpart. Because you might say...
That's true, isn't it? You do need to have...
really appealing to get gang raped by refugees.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. But this is the thing.
It just might...
Yeah, what are you saying?
I was just going to say, it is true, but he seems to be saying, as long as we don't hate women openly, they should come to us. That's not how it works. Yeah,
basically what I'm saying. This turd has said so much stupid shit.
Exactly. He goes on constantly about men controlling their women. Well, women will tell you to fuck yourself because this isn't the 1600s, you cunt.
Not even the 50s.
Well, yeah.
So that leaves us with two options. Either we let that happen and we let them continue to vote for the leftist alternatives, or we can gain their votes ourselves and have them on our side. Because it can either go with the democratic way, that we can get into power via the election, which is the preferable way, which could have happened in Austria. The other way, the other scenario...
Not really, actually, because the Austrian presidency is largely a figurehead role.
Yeah.
Real power there.
Yeah.
It can happen in the coming years, a civil war. If you want to wage a civil war...
Race war! Oh, I can't... They've been promising this fucking race war for ages. When's it happening?
I know. I dated back. I did a timestamp for when race war started. Apparently that term was invented in 1983.
Well, yes. No.
Fucking 45 years at this point.
Then you will probably lose, because even if they might not be the ones who are participating in the street battles, they will be vital if you need some place to hide, if you want to get supplies, if you want.
What is this fucking D&D? Like, oh, the maidens in the house get the supply.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, exactly. They might not be useful really in the race war, but you might want a sandwich. So.
Yeah.
If you want that kind of support, you kind of need women. You can't get away with that. So it's of paramount importance to get their support onto our side. And the only way we can do that is to portray a culture or movement that is attractive to them. So some concrete solutions there. Make your movement, make your person, make everything about your political idea as attractive to women.
I love the fact all his shirts to show pretentiousness with this old world garbage have the Trent de Triomphe on there.
No.
The Arctic Triomphe, you know, like the little symbol right there.
Oh yeah, that's the fleur de lis.
Yeah, the fleur de lis. Oh, Italy, we call it the Arctic Triomphe symbol.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the old.
Yeah.
Is it Charlemagne?
Yeah. No, yeah, Charlemagne. Yeah.
So that they can feel like, you know what, these guys are the winners here. These guys are the high capacity guys, because they will not find any attraction to bitter guys who do not like women a mile away. And then you will push away potential voters, potential people that will help you when things get rough. So we need to utilize women. No matter if you like them or not, they are needed. And yeah,
there you go. That's ultimately why no women will support you, because you don't actually like them. You're just saying we need them. Whether you like them or not, they're necessary. So basically, you're saying if you could get rid of them, you basically would.
Yeah.
They're just an inconvenience for you. You twat.
As everyone watching this, I cannot for the life of me understand why they would vote for additional potential rapists in their nation. But you know what? It doesn't really help us to feel these negative emotions towards them. We need to look at the path to victory. The path to victory will happen with the support of women, regardless of if it's in the political matter or if it's in a coming civil war. We need women. So we need to keep that in mind and not harbor this sort of anti-female resentment. Yeah, sure, you can be anti-feminist. I am very, very outspoken, very anti-feminist, but I'm not anti-female because I kind of like women. So,
kinda. I kinda like women, yeah.
Yeah.
XXO.
So bad.
What an absolute fucking gimp. What a twat.
And there we go. That's what I have planned for the most of the summer. I'm doing a lot of I mean, uploading that much.
Yeah, we're going to be skipping June, aren't we? So this is June, preemptive June, and then
we'll get back in August.
Okay, cool.
We might have to do. If I have time, some bullshit comes up on the internet because there's always something. I might have to do something.
Yeah, you know, Donald Trump's going to go mental and start masturbating on stage or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Well, have a good night, everyone.